Hey guys, welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're making a shallow fried chicken rather than the deep fried recipe that I have posted currently on my YouTube. So there's a few tweaks, but otherwise it is a very similar concept. But before we get started on the recipe, I wanted to let you guys know that I have just been affiliated with International Open Academy. They are a provider of several online courses that you can use for continuing education, certification in a new field, and even just for your own curiosity. So definitely check out that link below. Make sure to at least check out the course offerings. They're constantly adding more courses to the list. And make sure that you do sign up through that link for an awesome discount. It is $19 per course if you use my link. Also, I do get a percentage commission based on my sales. So, definitely give that a quick gander. And now, let's get started on our recipe. Okay, to start off, I need to open up my chicken. I managed to find some beautiful thighs at Publix the other day. So I just want to open this up and trim off these extra little bits of skin that would float around in my oil too much. Alright, for my thighs, I'm going to need a generous supply of salt, several dashes of hot sauce, black pepper, and some minced garlic. And then I'm going to cover this in buttermilk and mix it all up for my chicken marinade. And now I'm just going to work my marinade together and get my chicken fully coated. If you don't mind getting messy and the fact that this will be extremely cold, then you can go ahead and just dig your hands in here. However, I've got really dry skin right now that's sensitive to the cold, so I'm using a rubber spatula. So my chicken is ready to go into the fridge. Ideally it would sit for overnight to really absorb the buttermilk and let the acid start breaking down the protein structure of the meat. But at the very least, it should hang out for 4 hours in the marinade, just to let those processes start working. Alright, so it's the next day, and I'm going to start off by getting my oil into a wide cast iron pan. And I'm only looking to fill it up about an inch full. So I'm going to start off with about a half cup of brown rice flour and about a half cup of gluten-free all-purpose flour. So of course for seasoned flour, I'm going to need to add some seasonings. So I'm going to start off with about a tablespoon of salt. And these measurements don't have to be exact, mainly it's going to be to your taste. Several grinds of black pepper. Some chili powder, which is a combination of seasonings usually, including garlic powder. It does have some salt, and then this one just says spices, but mainly it should be some kind of hot chilies. And then because my chili powder already included garlic powder, then I'm only going to add a little bit of garlic powder. And finally, to bring that southern heat, some cayenne pepper. Mix this up with a fork. Break up any lumps in the flour. And there we go, seasoned flour ready for dredging. Alright, so I want to drain off as much extra of my buttermilk marinade as possible. If I had extra chicken to marinate, what I would do is put a bowl under a strainer and collect my marinade to use a second time. But this is all of my chicken, so I'm going to just use the sink and dump the marinade. Alright, I'm going to use the wet hand, dry hand method, which is where with one hand I grab my chicken thigh, place it into my dredge. With my dry hand, I make sure that my chicken is well coated, and then once I have it coated, I can just grab the whole thigh and flip it without getting weird club fingers. Then I'm going to grab the thigh, shake off any excess flour, and I'm going to set it skin side down. So that way it doesn't glue itself to the rack as much. Now I'm going to do the same thing for all of these. So, wet hand, place my chicken into my dredge. Using my dry hand, I'm going to make sure that my chicken is thoroughly coated. Shake off the excess and place on my rack. So I'm going to give my thighs another minute or two for that flour dredge to really adhere to my chicken. Also, I'm going to give my oil another couple minutes to get just a little bit hotter. And then I will drop these bad boys into my hot oil. You can go ahead and turn it up real quick, because as I add the chicken, the temperature of the oil will drop. So start off skin side down. And then use your splatter guard. Alright, so I'm going to let this cook on the skin side for probably about 10 minutes, where I'm not going to touch it at all. And it's just going to get nice and crusty and golden on the bottom. And then I'm going to flip it and do the same thing on the other side. It won't require quite as long of a cook on that side, but it'll probably be somewhere in the 7 to 8 minute range. Alright, so it's been 10 minutes. I'm going to set that off to the side. Alright, so I'm going to replace my splatter guard, which keeps my stovetop neat even when doing something messy like frying. So, now that I've flipped these, I'm going to go dredge my second batch of chicken. Alright, now that I've flipped my first batch of chicken in the pan, it's time for me to dredge my second batch. So that way the coating will be perfectly set up by the time I need to drop these into the oil. So to test to see if my chicken has cooked on this other side, I'm going to gently shake, and I can see the pieces of chicken moving, meaning that it's cooked well enough to actually detach from the bottom of the pan. So I'm going to remove my splatter guard. There we go. That is perfect. And we're going to remember that anytime we pull something out of some hot oil, we're going to hit it with some salt. Alright, time for my second batch, and remember your second batch will always cook faster and usually comes out better than your first batch. And replace my splatter guard. Alright, so here is one of the most beautiful pieces of fried chicken you've probably ever seen. Definitely one of the most beautiful I've ever seen, considering that it's about to be my lunch. So, let's get to the fun part where I get to eat the food. Right off the bat, that crunch factor is there. Also the tanginess from the buttermilk. I do use a lot of garlic in my flavoring, so if you're not as much of a garlic fan, of course you can reduce or omit, but it is garlicky on the finish. And then, of course, my favorite part is the little crispy bits on the edge of the chicken. So good. So I hope you guys will enjoy making this delicious chicken at home during quarantine. It only requires a few special tools that most people should have in their kitchens anyway. Also, my next video will be waffles, where I will show you guys how to combine the waffles I make in that video with some leftover chicken to make chicken and waffles. So stay tuned for that. If you guys enjoyed learning how to make shallow fried chicken today, then I hope you'll give this video a like, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, and if you want to make sure that you're always notified every time I upload a new video, like say when I make my waffles video next time, then make sure to click the bell for notifications every time that I upload a new video. And don't forget to check out the link below for discounts on International Open Academy courses for continuing education or certifications. Alright guys, so enjoy frying chicken at home. I'm going to go polish this off, and I'll see you next time on the Deglutenizer. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy my content, I hope you'll consider supporting me on Patreon for just $2 a month. Patrons receive early access to content, early announcements for upcoming projects, and much more. Help me grow by becoming a patron today.